In the previous class, we were discussing. Are there any questions? Any comment about the first lecture? Because you have got a lot of experience regarding the teaching of federal system in India and in other countries. I was discussing about the National Integration Council, which is a very important body created outside the provisions of the Constitution. ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಖಾಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ
ಸರ್. ಅದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್.
ಅವರೇ
ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಹಲೋ ಡಿಯರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಆನ್ ದ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
Yes.
Good. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. The 2-3 people, they have not opened their videos. Subhash. Now it is open. Chaitra. There are so many people, we have got PhDs. That is great. Then the other important thing is that the Finance Commission, under Article 280 of the Constitution, which is a very important one. And it plays a very important role regarding the distribution of, the taxes, other important benefits between the central government and the state governments. And so far, 16 finance commissions have been appointed. And these commissions have made several recommendations. And many of the recommendations have been accepted. And as a result, the tax resources to the state governments are being transferred up to 42%. This shows that under the Modi's government, fiscal federalism is being developed and promoted. In order to promote cooperative federalism and also competitive federalism, because both are very important. Regarding the developmental activities, the states have to compete with each other and one another. So that
ನಿಮ್ಮ career, ನಿಮ್ಮ actions, okay? So ಇನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸೋದೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಭಾಗ್ಯಾಂಕ. So ಇದರ ಪ್ರಭಾವ.
ಅರುಣಕುಮಾರಿ ಮೇಡಮ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಒಂಚೂರ.
Now Narendra Modi, after he became the Prime Minister, has made some changes regarding cooperative federal system in order to promote competitive federal system. His government abolished the National Planning Commission in August 2014, which was created by Jawaharlal Nehru. National Planning Commission under the Nehru's government and Indira Gandhi government played a very decisive role, and it was described as Economic Cabinet of India. It played a very important role in the disbursement of grants. The Prime Minister was the ex officio chairman of the National Planning Commission. And the Planning Minister was the deputy chairman. But after some time, a full-time deputy chairman was also appointed. Some changes were made. It played a very important role. And it also accepted some of the recommendations made by National Development Council. National Development Council was an apex body which had consisted chief ministers of all the states. But however, even that body has been abolished. And as a result, on 1st June 2015, Niti Ayoga has been established. National Institution for Transforming India. That is called the Niti Ayoga. National Institution for Transforming India. And it is headed by the Prime Minister. And it has Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer and the Governing Council. These are the main organs of the Niti Ayoga. And it is operating. Governing Council is called as a very important body. It has replaced National Development Council. It plays a very important role. It is called as Team India. Governing Council is called as Team India, and it includes the chief ministers of the states. Aravinda Panagaria, who was a professor of economics at Columbia University, America, was appointed as the first vice chairman of this Niti Ayoga. And he resigned later. And as a result, today he is the chairman of the 16th Finance Commission, appointed in December 2023, 16th chairman of the Finance Commission. And he has to play a very important role regarding the study of the center-state financial relations. And therefore, according to the NDA government vision, this Niti Ayoga has to play a greater role in order to promote what you call cooperative and competitive federal system in India. In addition to this, the India government has also brought some change in the fiscal federalism of India by introducing GST in July 2017. GST means Goods and Services Tax. It has become a new tax system to promote one nation, one tax regime. Remember this. You also know how during the last 8 years it has been functioning, and the tax resources of the central government as well as state governments have increased, and a lot of changes are taking place. And as a result, it has become more beneficial to both the levels of the governments, according to the reports given by the government. This GST subsumed the following central taxes into one. It is a reform of indirect taxation, not the direct taxation. Central Excise Duties Act of 1955, Service Tax, Additional Customs Duty, Special Additional Duty of Customs, Central Sales Tax collected by the states, Central Surcharges and Cesses relating to supply of goods and services. These central taxes have been subsumed into one tax system. What are the replacement of state taxes? VAT, Actri and Entry Tax, Purchase Tax, Luxury Tax, Tax on lottery, betting and gambling, State Cesses and Surcharges. These have been subsumed, and Entertainment Tax. Now this GST Act confers power on Parliament and state legislatures to make laws for levying GST simultaneously on every transaction of supply of goods and services. 10 articles have been amended by this Act. Articles 248, 249, 250, 268, 269, 270, 71, 286, 366, and 368. Article 368A has been deleted. 3 new articles, 246A, 269A, 279A have been inserted. In addition to this, 6th and 7th schedules of the Constitution have been amended. Therefore, friends, the division of this tax rate between the center and the states is being decided by the GST Council. GST Council plays a very important, role, in the promotion of this system. According to one Western scholar, the GST system has contributed for the emergence of market-preserving federalism. Market-preserving federalism, in which multiple governments have delineated responsibilities, primary authority over public goods and services, and this is the opinion of one American scholar. Now, what are the advantages of GST? It leads to a uniform, seamless market across the country by reforming indirect taxation system. Indirect taxes are levied by the center and the states on manufactured goods and services. So, one nation, one tax system is being promoted by the GST. Number two, it checks the tax evasion. So, one cannot escape from the payment of taxes because online method is adopted, and therefore evasion is being checked, and as a result, more and more taxes would be collected by both the center and the states. Number three advantage, it boosts the economic growth. That is very important. It enhances the economic growth because the soundness of the country, the development of the country is depending upon the economic strength. And as you all know, that India today is being considered as the 5th economy in the world. And I think by 2047, India will try to attain the position of 3rd economy in the world. And it may become superpower. That is the vision of Narendra Modi. He may not be there by 2047. Many of us will not be there. But yet, the country's future will be there. Economic development will be there. And therefore, unless we are economically strong, we cannot become a superpower. We cannot become a very potential power in the world. And friends, you remember, despite our huge population, so many diversities, and the federal system of government operating in the country, India is considered as a very important country which has surplus of food grains and whose economy is booming and emerging. India is a country of youth power. Nearly 30 to 35% of the population consists of the youths, and they play a very important role. Make in India program, Startup in India program have played a very important role. Make in India, manufacture, even in the defense field, manufacture the things which are very important for us, export them, use them within the country. Thereby, your economy will be strengthened. Your economy will become strong. We need not depend upon the imports for everything. Those days are gone. And Modi, in that respect, has made a very important development, and therefore, it boosts the economic growth. And the GST has two components. One is the central GST, another one is the state GST. So state governments also can collect the tax. It will also eliminate multiple taxes on firms and helps ease doing a business. Ease of doing business is very, very important. No question of complication, getting license, or putting hurdles, too many procedures. They are all being, removed or curtailed. Another important merit is it will reduce the logistics costs for firms due to elimination of inter-state taxes. Logistic costs will be reduced because there will be no interstate taxes. Only one tax, one system. Capital goods prices may fall by 12 to 14% by boosting GDP growth to 0.5%. And it will reduce the black money. That is very important. Earlier, it was estimated that nearly 30 to 40% of India's money was black money. But even today, black money is playing a very important role. But it has been reduced and it will be reduced. That clearly indicates that GST plays a very important role, and it is a new system that has been adopted by the Modi government in order to promote what you call the economic development of the country on the basis of the constitutional provisions. Then, now after this, there is a GST Council which plays a very important role. It was constituted in September 2016 and its first meeting was held from 22nd to 23rd September 2016, and it is composed of 33 members, both from the center and the states. It meets very frequently. Probably you read in the newspapers, once in a month it meets under the chairmanship of the Union Finance Minister. Now today it is Nirmala Sitharaman and Union Minister of State for Finance, and the finance ministers of 28 states and 3 union territories. Today, the geography of India has been changed. We have only 28 states and 8 union territories because Jammu and Kashmir has been downgraded to union territory. Ladakh has been created. Daman, Diu and Nagar Haveli have been merged into one union territory. And Andhra Pradesh was bifurcated in early 21st century, 2012. And today we have got 28 states and 8 union territories. That is how the Indian federal system has been known for dynamics, changes, depending upon the situation and the demands of the states. Now, after discussing all these things, friends, what are the challenges before the Indian federal system? What are the challenges? Do we deserve federalism? That is a big question mark. Because there are so many problems. There are so many things that are taking place in India. Particularly, strengthening national integration is very, very important. Strengthening national integration. Zonal councils are there. Team India is there. Niti Aayog is there. Ministers, state ministers meet the central government ministers, including the Prime Minister. All these institutional mechanisms are there. Finance Commission is there. But in spite of that, there are some challenges. In recent times, there are some regional parties which are asserting regionalism in the strong terms. They are asserting very strong terms. Regional feeling. I don't want to say any other word. Regionalism is important, but let there be a limit. Linguistic regionalism, cultural regionalism, political regionalism would endanger the integrity and the unity of the country. Today, there are some states which are opposing certain central policies. For example, they are opposing NEP of 2020. National education policy is not being followed by many states, more than 10 states, including Karnataka. Education, as you all know, is in the concurrent list. Item number 25. It plays a very important role. National education policy has been framed after a long discussion and deliberations and on the basis of the feedback obtained through seminars, symposia, so on and so forth. Kasturi Rangan was the chairman of the committee who died recently, and it was adopted by the government. It is known for, I hope you have read the document, it is known for flexibility at the exit level and also at the admission level. It is known for employability. Lot of choice is being given to the learners. It is known for flexibility. It is known for employability. It is known for quality. That is very important. It promotes 4-year degree course. It gives importance to what you call skill-oriented education. NEP considers education as a public service. That is very important. Education as a public service. It has underlined the importance of teaching community. It wants to promote energetic, motivated, strong teachers, motivated teachers. Teachers are to be mentors. I told you in the earlier class, teachers are the advisors. Mentors means advisors. Your role is mentorship. It wants to recruit quality teachers. It wants to give them up-to-date training periodically. That is very important. It calls it as a tenure track. Now, when this kind of a quality document has been adopted by the union government, after a thorough discussion throughout the country for many years, some state governments, because of the political reason, are opposing it. Tamil Nadu government is not interested. Tamil Nadu government says, new document imposes 3-language formula. It don't want, no, from the very beginning, it has been opposing Hindi language. Hindi language is not a foreign language. It is an Indian language. We have adopted 3-language formula in 1968 on the basis of the Kothari Committee report. 3-language formula. First preference to your mother tongue. In Karnataka, Kannada first. Second English. Third Hindi. But even in Karnataka, the Congress government is trying to oppose a 3-language formula. It don't want Hindi. Maharashtrians, they don't want Hindi. Now, if you oppose your own country's language, why do you, appreciate or embrace English? English is not our mother tongue. English is not Indian language. English is not included in the 8th schedule of the Constitution among the 22 languages. It is good. It is a professional language, business language, link language, we agree. But when you are recognizing English, when you are approving English, why you are opposing Hindi? This is the question posed by many persons in India, and you as the scholars must also think, because Hindi is not against what you call any other language. It is a language spoken by more than 35 to 40% of the Indian population. And Modi has become very popular because of his oratory in Hindi language. He is a Gujarati, but he speaks very good Hindi language. No language has any religion. Language is only a medium of communication. If you learn as many languages as possible, you can thrive well in India. Why South Indians are not very strong in North Indian politics? Why in parliament they don't want to speak in Hindi? They don't know, some of them, they don't know how to speak even English or Hindi. This is the problem, except some politicians from Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Therefore, we have to think in a very broad-minded way, and therefore regionalism is being asserted by opposing 3-language formula, by opposing national education policy, by opposing centrally sponsored schemes. Today, the government of India has introduced certain very important central schemes and centrally sponsored scheme. If they are to be implemented, if you want to promote cooperative federalism, then you have to get money from the central government. Because friends, under the Indian federal system, center is affluent, states are effluents. Only one letter is different. Center is affluent, states are effluents. According to one estimate, 67% of the natural resources are being collected by the center. 67%. Only 33% of the resources belong to the state governments. But state governments need more money to spend. Now today some states like Himachal Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka have introduced so-called guarantees, politics of freebies. Now in Karnataka, they lack a lot of resources. The government is struggling to mobilize the resources because of the guarantees. Therefore, Nowhere in the world, the governments give money to the rich people without working, without production. You help the poor people. You help the people below the poverty line. India is a welfare state. The constitution envisages welfare activities. We do agree, but not to the haves. They can afford. And therefore, the government should think on these lines. And in this sense, friends, regionalism is posing a great challenge, to the national unity and the national integration. And you also know, under the 16th Amendment to the Constitution of India, right to secessionism, right to separation from the Indian Union is anti-national. Therefore, the 16th Amendment Act has banned, has prevented the right to secessionism under the Indian Constitution. This is very, very important. If any political party advocates openly or directly right to secessionism, that is separation from the Indian Union, it can be, punished according to the provision of the Constitution. It can be prevented from participating in the electoral process. This is one thing, that we have to remember. And therefore, the preamble of the Constitution contains the basic principles, core principles of the Indian political system. And federalism is a part of the Indian federal system. And you must also know that federalism, according to the Supreme Court of India, is one of the basic structures of the Indian Constitution. Basic structure means the Parliament cannot abolish federal system. Changes may be made, but federal system cannot be abolished, even though the word federal is not there. From that point of view, friends, when we think about Indian federal system, we must always try to strengthen national integration. And we must remember that Ambedkar was right in giving more power to the government. And Ambedkar also defended emergency provisions, under Article 352, which deals with the national emergency, under Article 356, which deals with the state emergency, under Article 360, which deals with the financial emergency. Article 356, President rule, has been imposed 118 times so far. 118 times. Now it cannot be misused or abused because it is justiciable in the court of law. Earlier, it was not justiciable before the 44th Amendment Act of 1978. Today, only one state is under the president rule, that is Manipur, because of the political instability, because of the ethnic problem that is going on. And this Article 356 is not applicable to union territories, which have ministries like Delhi, Pondicherry, and also Jammu and Kashmir. They are governed by, different provisions. Article 339AB regarding Delhi, Section 73 of the Reorganization Act of the Jammu and Kashmir, and 1963 Union Territories Act, which is applicable to the Union Territory of Pondicherry. Therefore, out of 8 territories, 3 have ministries and assemblies. That you must also, remember. And therefore, today, the centralized provisions, have not been misused very glaringly because of the regional governments formed by the state political parties or opposition political parties. And therefore, they are trying to defend their own autonomy that is available under the various provisions of the Constitution. But in spite of that, center plays a very important role in the maintenance of national unity, national integrity. And you must also remember that we have got single citizenship. We are all Indians. And we know when there is a column called nationality, we say we are Indian. Despite our federal system, we have not adopted dual system, dual citizenship like America or Switzerland, because all of us are Indians. And there's a free movement. You can go and settle in any part of the country. Of course, subject to certain reasonable restrictions in the name of the national interest or security of the nation. Therefore, we are all Indians. You may be Kannadigas, but it is not officially correct. We are all Indians. From that point of view, Dr. Ambedkar was very far-sighted in providing single citizenship to the people of India, because federalism should not weaken the national unity and the national cohesion. This is one thing that we must remember in the dynamics of Indian federal system. Number two, reorganization of the big states. Major reorganization took place in 1956. After that, there were again reorganization in some states. Maharashtra was divided on the language basis into Maharashtra and Gujarat. Then Punjab was divided into Punjab and Haryana. And in the name of economic backwardness, Andhra was divided into Telangana and Andhra. Chandrasekhar Rao, TRS, Telangana Rashtriya Samiti, now it is called PRS, played a very important role. And Chandrasekhar Rao dominated the Telangana politics for 1 decade. And in the last election, he has been defeated. And now Congress party has come to power in the new state of Telangana. In Andhra, there is a Telugu Desam now, under the chief ministership of Chandrababu Naidu. And Jammu and Kashmir, it has been downgraded into union territory. But now there is a demand that it should states should be restored as early as possible. I do not know why the center is delaying. And if it is restored, then again the number of states will go up to 29. But there are certain arguments that in India, we have not adopted equal size principle regarding the reorganization of states. Equal size principle. In America, it is there, except California and Texas in the south. California in the west, Texas in the south. Most of the states in America, out of 50 states, they have got equal size. They have adopted equal size principle. But in India, we have yet to adopt this. And therefore, there is a demand that there must be a new commission to look into the reorganization of the big states. Like Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, for example. Earlier, there was a demand for the creation of the Vidarbha state, in the northeast of Maharashtra. Maharashtra is one of the biggest states in India. And therefore, there is a demand. And therefore, the government must think over, discuss politically with all political parties, come out with a new idea and organizing, because if states are smaller in size, there will be better type of administration. That is the arguments given by some scholars. You may not agree with that view, but that is the argument. For example, they give the example of Punjab, Haryana, and some small, even in the northeast. Northeastern states are backward not because of the size, but because of the hilly areas, because of the lack of proper road transport system. Now the transport system is being improved in the northeast. A separate department has been created in charge of the northeast, and a separate minister is there to look after the development of the northeast. And from that point of view, friends, reorganization of the big states is also a very important challenge, because in India, it is the political will that plays a very important role regarding the controversial issues on the basis of the consensus. Then the third one is resolution of the border disputes between the center and the states, between the states or among the states. Today we have got border dispute between the several states, border disputes, particularly between Maharashtra and Karnataka. Oh, Belgaum has become a disputed area. Kanapura has become a disputed area. Now every day we find, some people are creating mischief in the Belgaum city, in the Belgaum municipal council. Marathi speaking people, they create problem. They are a big state. Maharashtra is a very big state geographically, but still it becomes an election issue. It becomes a political issue. And many Mahajan Commission recommended that Belgaum should be within Karnataka. It is there. And the case is pending before the Supreme Court. But in spite of that, some political leaders, particularly people from Shiva Sena, whether of Uddhav group or Raja's group, they create problem for political purpose. Even BJP in Maharashtra tried to rake up this issue, thinking that some of the villages, some of the towns where you find a large number of Marathi speaking people should be merged with Maharashtra. This is an unfair argument. And you are all scholars, you know that the SRC, which gave the recommendations in 1955 regarding the reorganization of states, pointed out language is not the sole factor. Language is one of the factors. It recommended 4 factors for the reorganization of the states. You read that one. 4 factors. One was linguistic affinity. Second one was administrative efficiency. Third one, economic development. And the fourth one, viability, of the governance. These were the 4 factors that were recommended by the State Reorganization Commission. Fasal Ali was the chairman of this commission. And even Jawaharlal Nehru, please remember, was not for linguistic states. But recently, some of the political leaders are arguing that we have linguistic states. It is unfair. It is unrealistic. Language is important. We do agree. It is one of the factors. But that alone is not responsible. For example, Andhra was bifurcated into Telangana and Andhra, not because of language, but because of economic backwardness. Maharashtra was bifurcated because of language. In some case, it is true. In some case, it is not true. Therefore, this factor has to be taken into consideration, and therefore, the dispute between the states regarding the border is to be resolved very immediately. And Kasaragod, for example, you go to Kasaragod, in many areas of Kasaragod Taluk district, there are Kannada speaking people. Majority of them are Kannada speaking. But it is within Kerala state. But we have not created the problem, much problem, like the Marathi people, in Belgaum. Here, for example, if you go to Tamil Nadu, there is a Nilgiri, it is called Ooty. In Ooty also, there are so many Kannada speaking people who are migrated, from the neighboring district of Chamarajanagar and Gundlupet and other places. And they are workers. They are working in the estates and in other places. But still, we are not arguing that Nilgiri should belong to Karnataka. This is a problem, because in the border areas, you find bilingual people, multilingual people. Language is a medium of communication. Because of survival, because of working, you have to learn some languages, from other areas, and they are called as spoken languages. And therefore, the people who are politicizing the linguistic states must understand this, and therefore, they have to cooperate in order to maintain the unity of the country. Then the water disputes. This is another big problem. That is why many scholars don't want to accept federal system of government. They say federal system is a weak form of government. It weakens the central authority. And that is true in many countries of the world, including India, in many cases. Water dispute. Water dispute, again between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Kaveri dispute. Kaveri dispute has been there since 1924. Mysore was a princely state. It was a part of Indian India, not British India. But we do not know what made Maharaja at that time in 1924 to conclude an agreement with the British government. Madras presidency was directly ruled by the Britishers, and they interfered, and they started demanding more water from KRS. Krishnarajasakara Dam is a very small dam. It's a very small dam, Kaveri water dispute, constructed during 1930s, even though agreement was made in 1924. Unless there is a copious rains from Kerala and western part of Karnataka, you can't release more water to Tamil Nadu. Kaveri Water Tribunal has been created. This year we are lucky. Now overflowing water is there, and I think excess water has been flown to Tamil Nadu, Mettur Dam. But in Tamil Nadu, remember, irrigation area is greater than irrigation area in Karnataka. Even though we are an upper riparian state, even though they are lower riparian state, they want more quantum of water compared to Karnataka. Now, this is a big problem. This is a political issue. And therefore, friends, again, it is creating a problem. And what we call, there is a so-called Mekedatu scheme, which is very helpful to provide drinking water to Bangalore. Bangalore is a city of more than 1 crore population. Bangalore, where is the water available? All the lakes, most of the lakes in Bangalore, they have vanished because of the encroachment by the builders, by the owners of the land. And therefore, for drinking water, it's a big problem. And therefore, Karnataka government is trying to develop Mekedatu, that is to utilize the surplus water of the Kaveri in the eastern part, which is nearer to Bangalore, to provide drinking water facility to the people of Bangalore. But Tamil Nadu is opposing. Central government has to give clearance. Same thing, Mahadayi, so-called Mahadayi, between Karnataka and Goa. Northern Karnataka people, particularly from Dharwad and other areas, they want more drinking water. But people, the government in Goa says, we can't give you. No, this is a big problem. And therefore, if it was a unitary government, this problem would not have been there. Because of the federal system, because of the distribution of powers, this problem is there. And resolution of this water dispute is a very important one. Again, between Karnataka and Telangana, regarding the distribution of Krishna River, again between Karnataka and Maharashtra, distribution of the Krishna River, all these problems are there. Friends, we do not know how to resolve this. Is a very big issue. And D.K. Shivkumar, who is the Minister for Water Resources in Karnataka, is trying to solve this problem. We have to wait and see. And he has made the union Jalashakti Minister, Water Resources Minister several times, and they have not given clearance. And even if they give clearance, some affected parties will go to Supreme Court or High Courts, and the courts will take their own time to give their judgment. And by the time, it will be 10 years or 20 years. Regarding the water dispute, Supreme Court is yet to give final judgment, regarding the Mahajan Commission report. Even though earlier it has defended the status quo, regarding the Mahajan Commission report. And again, another thing is regional imbalances. That is very important. There is no even development in India. Now you have studied Aristotle, and you may be teaching Aristotle's politics. Aristotle analyzed one of the reasons for the revolution, that is ignorance or ignoring regional imbalance. If any region is ignored, then the people of that region may revolt, he said. That is one of the causes for revolution, according to him. Same thing in India also. There is an uneven development. Earlier, during 60s and 70s, there were some states which were called as Bimaru states. Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra, the eastern part of the states. But today, that nomenclature has been removed. But still, in terms of development, Bihar is a backward state. Orissa is not that developed state. Northeastern states are not that developed states. Please visit northeastern states. Have a Bharata Darshan. Now you have got summer vacation. During summer vacation, go to India. You have got very good trail services, railway services, even air services. Airports have been created. More and more airports have been created. Infrastructurally, we have developed a lot. And you can afford now. Visit, all parts of India. Go to, Ayodhya. Uttar Pradesh is changing. It has been transformed. Go to Madhya Pradesh. Go to Maharashtra. Go to Delhi. Go to Varanasi. The very face of Varanasi has been changed. Modi has changed it. Go to Delhi. You must see the Delhi. You must take the students, or you take your family members. Have a vacation. Have a Bharata Darshan. You will come to know where your country will stand, where your state will stand, where your city will stand. That is very important. From that point of view, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗಾದೆ ಇದೆ, ದೇಶವನ್ನು ನೋಡು, ಕೋಶವನ್ನು ಓದು ಅಂತ. That is very important. Reading makes a full man, conference a ready man, writing an exact man. This is what Francis Bacon said 17th century ago. Reading makes a full man. ಓದಬೇಕು. Don't depend upon the mobile phone for everything. Internet is not everything. Mobile phone is only, should be used for communication, not for other purpose. Books are your friends. Libraries are your temples. Classical works. That is very, very important. Then only you can become a real teacher, an inspiring teacher, a graded teacher. Writing. Today, our people have forgotten to write writing habits. Communication is very important. Communication is the asset for a great teacher, both in writing and in spoken language. He must speak, whatever may be the language, either it is English, Hindi, or Kannada. Language is very, very important. That one has to improve a lot. And writing, conference a ready man, like attending the courses, seminar, conferences, presenting the papers in the colloquium. You must present. You will come to know where you stand. That's very important. When you listen to several resource persons in this program, you will come to know where you stand. You may say that you are better than some of the resource persons. That is great. That is how self-assessment is very important. Self-esteem is very important. Don't develop inferiority complex. Self-esteem is, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. You can, where there is a will, there is a way. I hope you have read Obama's autobiography, Audacity of Hope. Barack Obama, before he became a president of America, at the very young age, he wrote his autobiography, Audacity of Hope. Audacity means courage. He said, I can. Just use the word I can. That means nanu maadaballe. I can do it. Nanu barlilla andre, I can learn it. Nanu ivattu maatadake agalilla andre, tomorrow I can improve it. Nothing is impossible. But sincere attempt is important. Sincere effort is very important. Loving the profession is very important. Loving the work is very important. Otherwise, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಕಾಟಾಚಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನವಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಅವನೇನು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಈ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೀಚ್, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ದನ್ ನಿಮ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಈ ಆಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ನ, ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಯು. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್. ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮೈಂಡ್, ನೋ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ಡ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎನ್ ಓಷನ್. ಒನ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎನಫ್ ಅಂತ ನಟವರ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ತಮ್ಮ ಆಟೋಬಯೋಗ್ರಫಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಒನ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎನಫ್. 100 years are not enough to understand. 30 years are not enough. ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನನಗೆ 40 ವರ್ಷ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಯೂಸ್? ಎ ಟೀಚರ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್. ಎ ಟೀಚರ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಅ ಲರ್ನರ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರಾಧಾಕೃಷ್ಣನ್ said when he became the president, somebody addressed him as a learned professor, and he intervened and said, no, I am not learned, I am a learner, he said. Still I am learning ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. Because knowledge is infinite. It's very difficult to understand the life. 100 ವರ್ಷ ಬದುಕಿದ್ರೂ every day we learn from experience. Experience is our teacher. And that is why, friends, the what we call regional imbalances must be rectified. I have visited Manipur. I have visited Assam. Guwahati is not well developed. Assam is not well developed. Impal, Manipur capital, about 20 years ago I visited in 2004. I think it is like our Markera, no development. People, they are living on the pavements. I went to Calcutta also several times. ನೀವು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಲ್ಕಟ್ಟಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟೇರಿಯಟ್ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲೇ people are living on the pavements. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Please excuse me, a professor from Calcutta. Even I don't know what is the situation now. In some parts, Calcutta is excellent. In some parts, Calcutta is known for slums. What is the development? Calcutta is one of the prestigious, cities in India. There are so many bungalows, Nehru Maidan is there, everything is there. But in Calcutta, you find a lot of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are biting like anything. We have seen that. And I have visited Jadavpur University. It is in the heart of the city, but not well developed that area, congested area. Therefore, there are certain areas where development is not even. Punjab is well developed. Punjab is well developed. Haryana is well developed. Bombay is a congested city. Bombay has got more than 1 crore population. In some Bombay ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ದಾರಾಯಿ slum ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ದಾರಾಯಿ. If you go there, I don't know how, the people, the governments have ignored that. Problems are there. Even Bangalore, earlier, it was called as the garden city, but now it has become a garbage city. People, population is increasing, they are losing the civic sense, and that is why regional imbalance has to be tackled, and that requires central help, financial help, which is affluent, which is financially strong, and that requires political will and what you call impartial treatment of the governments ruled by different political parties, both at the central level and at the state level. This is another, big challenge. Then another thing is fiscal federalism, implementation of the fiscal federalism, accepting all the recommendations of the finance commissions. Chandrababu Naidu, even the DMK government in Tamil Nadu, and many people, even Karnataka government, they are all demanding that 50% of the central taxes should be devolved to state government. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah says that we are putting a lot of money, taxes to central government, but they are not giving us. Out of 100 paisa, they are giving us only 15 paisa, he says. So the state governments are demanding more and more financial help from the center, tax resources from the center, because income tax is collected by the central government, but salaries are paid by the state government. But income tax is collected by the central government, distributes among the state governments. And therefore, special category states are there. Today, there are 10 special category states. They are all hilly states, like northern part of states, Himachal Pradesh. And, for special category states, 90% of the money is in the form of the grants. Only 10% taxes. But for other states, including Karnataka, 70% taxes and 30% grant. Therefore, central government, according to the state government, wants equal, that is 50% of the taxes should be in the form of the grants. Therefore, this is the demand, and that has to be studied by the central government, and therefore, the federal system can be rectified and can be effectively worked. Then the other challenge is office of the governor. Do you want this office of the governor? This is the problem. Now, recently, there have been controversies in many states. Earlier in West Bengal, when Dhankar was the governor who recently resigned as the Vice President of India, he was the governor of West Bengal for a very long time. And N. Ravi, who was the governor of Nagaland, later transferred to Tamil Nadu, who is working there. And Arif Muhammad Khan, who was the governor of Kerala, now he has been transferred to some other state. And there are some governors who belong to the ruling political party of the central government. They are politicizing the office of the governor by not cooperating with the state governments. Particularly, they are misusing Article 200. Whenever the bill is passed by the state legislature, such many bills are not being cleared by the state governors. They reserve them for the consideration of the President of India under Article 201. And the President of India, there is no time limit. He can keep it in the pocket, which is called as pocket veto. Or he can return the bill for reconsideration. Even after the reconsideration, when it goes back, he may not give the assent within time. That is why recently the Supreme Court gave a judgment that the governor or the president under Article 200, 201 must take the decision about the state bill within 3 months. Within 3 months, they have put the limit. But that has been questioned again. The hearing is going to take place shortly. Therefore, this is a big problem. The governor should not create problems for the state governments. It should not. They must appoint those people who are impartial, who are enlightened, who are broad-minded. But unfortunately, that is not happening either under the UPA government or NDA government. Whoever comes to power at a center, they try to use this office for their political purposes. Then the other important thing is elimination of poverty in India. According to the recent statistics, more than 26% of the people have been liberated from the poverty line. That is the statistics. But it has been subjected to argument, subjected to criticism. Still, there are a lot of people. No, I do not know. We got independence 75 years ago, but still we are talking about backward classes. Still, we are talking about other backward classes. Now, today, primary education has become a fundamental right. When everybody is to be educated under Article 16A, which is a primary, is a fundamental right. Fundamental right is a right which must be implemented. I do not know how people can remain educationally backward. Today, it is not the social background that is important. It is an opportunity. The Constitution of India provides a secular character. Secularism means no state religions. All religious people are eligible to occupy the public places. That is very, very important. We must promote what we call secularization of education, secularization of social life. That is very important. If you want to promote Indianism, if you want to promote nationalism, if you want to strengthen patriotism, then all of us should think that we are Indians. But some political parties are organizing caste-based politics, mobilizing the people on the basis of caste. They are increasing caste identity. This is a big problem. But our people are very intelligent. They are very common sense. They have a common sense. In spite of these identity, they maintain social harmony. They maintain social cohesion. That is the beauty of India. And from that point of view, friends, elimination of the poverty, making India a developed country. I think Modi says 2047. In another 25 years, we have to wait to make India a superpower. But we have improved economically, no doubt. But still, in the rural areas, problems are there. Some acute poverty is there. That has to be taken care of by both the central government and state government. State governments must play a very important role because they are very nearer to the people. And we have to strengthen Panchayat Raj system, rural-urban governments and urban governments. For the removal of poverty in the rural areas, Panchayats must play a very important role. Under the 73rd Amendment Act, certain responsibilities are entrusted to the Panchayat Raj system. That is very, very important. That must play a very important role. Then corruption. How to eliminate corruption? I told you earlier, I referred it. India has become the most corrupt country in the world, according to the agency report by the foreign governments. Most corrupt country. Now, what is wrong with us? I do not know. We have forgotten value-based education. We have forgotten morality. We think that money is everything. We think that you can exploit others, misuse power, abuse power, unless we get very good political leadership, unless people elect the morally based political leaders as our MLA, MPs, we may not be able to eradicate, corruption. This is another problem because we need people like Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi ji, Jayaprakash Narayan, K. Kamaraj, who was a well-known honest man, Kengal Hanumantayya in Karnataka, Nijilingappa in Karnataka. They were all very honest political leaders. They never misused or abused the power. Friends, you teach the students in the classroom that power is a trust. Who said this? John Locke. Power is a trust. One who holds the power is a trustee. He should not misuse. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. That is very important. Honesty is the best policy. Nothing is substitute for honesty. That has to be nurtured in the classroom by the students. And finally, friends, successful implementation of GST system. Successful implementation of GST system. We have to wait and see. A lot of problems are there, challenges are there, and we have to wait and see how the system will work and it will survive. Now, these are the major challenges before the Indian federal system, and there is no alternative to federal system. We have to continue with the system. We have to strengthen this, and we have to, our people must be vigilant, because democratic federal system is to be successful. People's vigilance is very, very important. Eternal vigilance is the price of democracy. Eternal vigilance. We have to become role model, because ultimately it is the people. The success of democracy is depending upon the election of the best people in the public field. Because we know ballot is stronger than bullet. Ballot is stronger than bullet. The Constitution of India gives an opportunity to the people once in 5 years to select and elect the best as our representatives. Unless we get this kind of quality politics I am talking, value-based politics, moral-based politics, I don't think our federal system will work successfully. That is why, from that point of view, no question of politicization of federal system or the democratic system. We have adopted this. Indian federal system has stood the test of time during the last 75 years. It has worked very well, despite ups and downs, and still it is working, and it will work. And it all depends upon, the way in which our politician will operate. With this, I would stop here. We have got 10 minutes.